Mm. Go Morbius. What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? That's the first one. No. Love it. Misery, that's what you've chosen. Friendship, you spat in my face. Wally, you're welcome to come on, dude, if you want. It's just a little night talk. No. Mm. Mm. Yo. Wally, you can come on up. He's in the chat, yo. Mm. It's actually funny, yo. Mm. Web Spider-Man. If I hear something, then I'm not going to go into it. Finisher. Slow. That's so funny. So I finally saw Morbius today. Okay, movie. Mm. Mm. Guess I'm not saying anything because just waiting for more cats to come in. So yeah, y'all gonna have to deal with me being silent unless y'all got questions for me. Let me get my food. Get your food then. You're good, man. I already ate. Mm. All right, bro. Oh. So yeah, I'm stretching right now. Hmm. There we go. I'm back. My time is it? My time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it. Mm-mm. There we go. Let's see. Choice. Except for the little children. Who else is in here, y'all? Like I said, feel free to ask me anything. I'm up probably till 1 or 2 today. AM. Let me see. I worked out yesterday. So I'll go to work. So I'll go back tomorrow. Now choose. Besides, I might probably start working on some thumbnails real quick. Oh. See. Can. Watts, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? That was a great conversation you and me had on freaking Yellow Stream, bro. I always forget, bro. Are you Western time or are you Eastern time? Strike me as a West cat. And also, the link is in the chat if you want to come up too. I feel like I had Arshawn. But Tampa Bay went in today. That was good. Managed to catch the last parts off of my father before I came back home. Oh, he's Eastern? No, Wally, not you. I meant Watts. Unless you're speaking for him. Wally, I know you're Eastern. Don't worry, because we don't live too far from each other. I agree. Newark. That's what all of us. All right, brother. Amazon and FedEx up here to talk. But to the 4 people who are here, I appreciate it. Even if if the number fluctuates. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I can talk about tonight. Yeah. I'm in a talking mood, and plus I kind of need it. Okay, you're Central. All right, that makes sense. Now that makes sense. Was that 2 hours behind? No mistaken. No, you're 3 hours. Central is 3 hours behind. I always forget that 3 hours like my brother in Arizona. Um, so you're three. Yeah, you're three. No, in sense. So, guys, like I said, feel free to ask me anything. Feel free to come in and talk about anything. We'll talk about it. Um, if it's a conversation, I have a. Well, I'm not saying if somebody I have no information on, educate me. Go ahead. Oh man, that VA is fucking awesome. Truth, not VA vegetable, VA splash, baby. Truth, what's up?
My guy JT, what's going on, Shorty?
Nothing, brother. I'm in a chillaxing mood. Had a good convo with my boy earlier. Um, and I was just on primals, and now I'm ready to get into some good conversations over here before I go to sleep at 2 a.m. Maybe 3. Who knows? Because I'm off tomorrow.
Oh, well, all right. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I need it after that bullshit daylight savings shit, and I hate it.
What happened? Say
I
that
said
again.
I hate daylight savings.
Oh, daylight savings. Oh, so
Yeah,
that's what. Oh, no wonder. So that's what
yeah,
just
the
happened.
hour push an hour back on the clocks, and I'm like, why the fuck did they do that? Because you know what that means? That means it's gonna be dark early for us who have to work out there. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, because I was just trying to order something, and I was like, why the heck they keep saying it's 12 something?
Oh, you mean for food?
Yeah, they kept saying it's 12 something. I'm like, hold on. They
Yeah,
said I'm looking at. I'm like 11. It's 11 something.
12
So I'm
something.
like,
Exactly.
yeah. I'm like, oh, you
Why you
son
up
of
so
a.
late, Jay Dakashi Metro? I'm up late because I have a day off. Plus, and plus, I'm cool. Like I said, I feel the need to get some more conversations going in until y'all exhaust me. Oh no, but I don't think y'all gonna exhaust me personally. Like I said, I had 2 good combos, made some great statements on the last thing, and I'm just curious to have a conversation about something. So regardless, whether you ask me a question or we're talking about other stuff you did when you were a kid and you effed up. But yeah. Um Yeah, true. Still to this day, my favorite stream is with you and Rico, where y'all did that talking about games y'all played. That shit is still funny. Yo, y'all some fucked up kids, bro.
Yeah, how we were so effed up.
Yes.
Yeah, how we were
Yo,
so bad.
you and Rico took the cake with some of the shit y'all told me y'all play. I'm like, y'all crazy.
Yeah, but
And
Rico
ain't
took
no
it to a
benefit though.
whole nother level. He took it. I forgot what he said. He said this.
He
I
should
said,
put firecrackers in
hold
the
up.
frogs and threw them up and light them on fire.
Yeah, I said, hold up. Yeah, I said, you
And
know
then
what?
you
I ain't
did
doing that for.
you told me. Yeah.
He even said something about some knobs or something that they was playing with or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I
I'm like,
said,
yeah.
no.
And I remember, I specifically remember me, Watts, you, and him, and JPA inspiring on there. And yeah, and I know we and Watts's freaking faces were just like, yo, y'all crazy.
Yeah,
This is some crazy games. Like, where'd y'all get this shit from? That's what I
yeah,
remember.
we were screwed up, man.
No, man, not even just that. I remember you told you when you try to put dynamite in a car in like one of the exhaust pipe or some stuff, and you said I wanted to, and then your boy stops you from trying to blow that shit up, bro. That was still funny to me this day. I was at work. I was at work probably 2 weeks ago listening to that stream again, and I was like, yo. He said this one I don't think he should do.
Yeah, don't do it.
because no, because remember your explanation, you and Rico's was well. We want to know if this shit was just like in the movies, and I'm just like, yo,
Yeah, yeah, like
nigga.
yo,
Pardon my
like,
French when I say nigga. It's a movie for a reason.
mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to see if you can do that in real life. Not even
And
supposed to try it. I mean,
I
that's the
had to,
point.
I had to see, man. I had
Y'all
to
been
see.
watching. I wouldn't say y'all niggas watching too much Terminator.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's what we was
That's
watching.
probably where you got it from too, because I'm thinking about like
Daggone
that's the kind of
action
people doing that
movies, man.
dynamite shit. Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone and Arnold
Having shotguns
Schwarzenegger.
and shit, dynamite, cord power
Yep.
cells, throwing shit out, blowing shit up. Like, bro, just yeah, man. Y'all must have been action junkies, probably, because I know we're boys. We bad. We watch a lot of action shit, and I'm just like, yo, we gonna try that out.
I exploded some cans. I exploded a daggone gas tank.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, I think you
Yeah.
said you tried to explode the gas tank.
No, this what when I mean by gas tank, not towards a car. I'm talking about like gas that you fill up.
Okay.
I
Truth.
lit it. I
Yeah.
made. I wanted to see if the fire actually make a trail when you put gasoline on it. So I lit that, and it went all the way through there. And boy, that was a loud sound.
Did you get in trouble? Did you get your ass whooped? What happened?
Nah,
Or you never got caught, right?
yeah, nah.
Yeah,
And majority of stuff
hopefully
I've
you learned
done
your
in my
lesson
life.
after that. Like, nah, don't do that again.
Yeah, majority of stuff I've done in my life. You know, God had mercy and grace on me that I ain't get caught because I probably
Probably
some of
would
the
have blown
stuff
up.
I probably wouldn't even got out of jail, bro.
Right. Or worse, you would have been blown up. And I'm just like, you don't want that to happen too. And I know, and like I said, I understand the curiosity of things when you're young because you're young and dumb and we do stupid shit, me included. Like I said, nobody excludes from that because, like I said, you want to find shit out. Like I said, I played with a lot of fire when I was young. Not in the house,
Hmm.
even low key. I tried to light one of my father's not cigars, his cigarettes up. All the shit that you're not supposed to do. And I keep that shit secret to this day. He still don't know I did. He still doesn't know I did that shit. So
Hmm.
yeah. And I'm like, let me not ever tell him, and let me just be a good son the way I'm supposed to be a good son. Simple enough. Ain't no point in me. First of all, tell him he can't do nothing to me now if I did that. But at the same time, it's just like yeah, I'm taking it to the grave with me. It's just the stupid shit I did. I light newspaper on fire. I've lighted sticks on fire in the backyard, like all that shit. Like because I know Rico was saying like, yo, I know you play with fire, right? Yeah, man, I did. I did. I was a I love I had like the one of the I actually had matches and I had like freaking extra the lighters that you buy from the store. Like I had those shits. Whenever I would I just want to light something up because I was bored
Yeah,
basically. And
stuff is stuff is
now
just crazy.
yo, I okay, I never okay. One of my cousins lit he lit his sister's Barbie dolls on fire one day. It was just, oh, he's a stupid motherfucker. I, I didn't get in trouble because I didn't like him. He did. And then his sister came in. She actually was running crying like, "Mommy, Dad, Mom, Dad, where my dolls at? Where my Barbie dolls at?" And shit. She was like, "Oh no, your brother. I think your brother went to go play with him because I'm in the. By the time he's outside burning those shits or playing with him on the lighter by lighting the hair up and shit, I'm in the hallway getting ready to go back outside to get the basketball, play basketball with him because he wanted to play basketball. When I heard her voice, I was like, yo, he about to get his ass beat. So once his sister walks out, you hear like, yo, what are you doing? Oh, he started like stuttering like a motherfucker. I'm just burning some Barbie dolls. I was, I'm literally laughing in the house when I hear shit. And his sister just she flies like listen, she literally Superman flies at her brother and starts beating his ass. Yo, true, bro. That shit was so funny. Bro. I'm just glad it wasn't me because like, hey, bro, listen. I was like, listen. I said, listen, Erica. I didn't let your shit up. That was your brother. I didn't snitch on him, but she knew it was him. So yeah, it just be that thing where boys get so curious about fire that they want to start lighting their all a bunch of different shit up. Is what it is. We just, I think for children, you gotta be sure to plug in that electric socket. This is what I'm gonna tell you. Make sure you get the plastic covers on it too.
Damn, who didn't do that dumb shit?
Say what?
I wonder what would happen if they put this fucking shit.
Oh, say that again once. You spoke really fast.
No, I'm saying who hasn't done that shit, like put a flip in the electric socket.
When I was 8, I'm a dumb. I'm dumb. Dumb.
I watched my brother do it. It was good enough for me.
No, that's the one I got my ass whooped on. Rightfully so, bro. Like you be doing shit like that, bro. We playing with the electric socket, bro. What the fuck? Hold on, wait. Your boss, didn't you say your son put that shit in there one time?
He was trying to. And then I think I said something to him and he just froze. Like I think I said something to him and he froze and looked at me and was like, "All right, I ain't gonna do it no more."
Right. See, I think the kids. I think kids, whenever it's a dad and you give them a disappointing look, they freeze up on you, especially your little girls, and they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, daddy." Try to hug you, be like, "I'm sorry, I won't do it again." As a way of showing you I ain't gonna do it again. But your daughter's gonna try it again one time. And it's like, nah, daddy, this time I got I got protection on and things like that. I'm like, stop, yo, get away from that fucking freaking extension. What the hell? Like get away from that shit. Like you're gonna hurt yourself. So I think when you're a kid, you're very, very curious, and that's all your kids. If you I know both of your fathers here. I know, but mostly your kids, if they're a certain age, they'll be curious about a lot of shit, or just seeing if they'll get the understanding oh, this hurts, so I won't do this again. Or this is fun, so I'm going to definitely do it again. I mean,
yeah, some of the stuff I just let them do it. Like it's just, I'm gonna let you do it. Go ahead. I need you to see how stupid you are right now. Because you telling me you could and you ain't listening. You clearly ain't hearing me when I tell you. So I need you to feel how stupid you look right now. Go ahead.
Hey, I mean, listen. Sometimes that's all it takes. How you doing, Sherelle? I haven't seen you, sweetheart. I haven't seen you in a while. You can come on if you want to, but
Sherelle.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, man, I just be like, yo, you sometimes you gotta let them experience some shit. I mean, of course, not something that results in death, but just something that just gonna give them a little light tap, a little shock therapy in this case. And I told him that's no way they're gonna learn. No way to get it right is to get it wrong. That's really what it is. On some things, not all things, but shit like that, I'm like, bro, let him shock himself. He'll be all right. Just as long as he doesn't have a fork or some shit, because he might get electrocuted at that point. A simple shock, trust me, it'll teach him not to want to do it again. Like I said, it always depends on how the child is, how receptive they are to your teaching. Like, watch, I imagine your children are very receptive to you, to your teaching. I said, I imagine. I'm not saying they do or they're right.
Generally speaking, yes. But my youngest has a tendency to just push the limit.
I ain't surprised by that one, Well, you try to push your buttons, or just push the buttons around in the house?
My buttons, her mama buttons, her grandmother buttons, the teacher buttons. She just want to push buttons.
Oh wow!
Just buttons.
Oh, it's the little girl. Okay. She
I mean, but I like it though. Like the ability to be able to challenge some shit. Just because somebody said some shit don't mean it's right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. The ability to stand up and talk and stand your ground.
Yeah, it's just a matter of trying to hone in that ability, trying to figure that shit out. But no, hard headed as hell.
Hey man, I remember at this point in time we were all like that. I'm like, yeah, I hear what Dad's saying, but I think I know better. And I'm like, no, you don't. What the fuck you don't? Once I got older, I'm like, nope, I don't know shit about life compared to him. And I'm like, once I graduated and I got some experience, I'm like, yeah, this is life, motherfucker. And he says, now I'm glad you know. This is life, son. It's work,
No, yeah,
work and sweat and blood. That's what you got. Not like
for
some
sure.
paradise. Because he shut that down
If I
immediately.
had a dollar for every time I sound like my father, I'd be rich right now.
Hey, man.
It's like
It's just
you
right.
remember as a kid every time your parents would yell at you or whoop you or some shit like that. You be like, I never do this to my kids. And then, well, you don't have any, but now that I got kids, it's like, okay, you know what? Now I understand
What
why
they
my
had to go
parents were
through.
assholes.
I've always
And
lived
then,
my friends say like you're gonna get a good understanding of your dad once you get the kids and then you actually have a freaking like a Boondocks moment. Be like, he just be like, hey man, you gotta stand 6 toes down with them and shit like that. You got to. Like I said, not every, like I said, all of them will be receptive, but majority of them will be. Yeah, I always say if you raise them right, or if you raise them the way that you want them to be raised specifically. So I definitely get that. Huh. Oh, let's see. Oh, yo, Wally, if you're still here, bro, pretty sure League of Chats, you're welcome to come in. But I've always thought that when I had kids, like, yo, how my kids gonna freaking like not treat me? How they gonna freaking like navigate? How they're gonna I guess how they gonna interact with me more often than not when they get to a certain age, a particular point, and how free do I let them be? Which I should let them explore a lot, especially if they're babies. I'll just let them explore as much as they want. Not you in the toilet though, because I had a brother that did that. That was wild.
no, I almost feel the opposite. Like you have to control the exploration to a certain point when they're younger. I feel like as they get older, you can free up their exploration because now they have the ability to.
Oh,
Not, I
okay.
mean, as they get older, they have somewhat of an ability to be able to discern, based on what you're teaching them. So your involvement is going to matter. But now, as they get older, they have the ability to discern, like, nah, I shouldn't have no parts of this. And my daddy been telling me not to involve myself in that, kind of stuff like that.
Right. It's
Because when
like
they
I'm
babies,
not
they
with
gonna
this
just
part.
touch everything.
Oh yeah, they're gonna touch every freaking thing that you've ever made or bought in your house, and they're gonna play with that shit and see if it's fun or if it's not fun.
That's the one thing that's the one thing that I was thankful for that with my kids, they really didn't, like mess with too much shit. Like for the most part, especially my daughter, like she I guess the old saying, like when you have two children, they try to move out the way for the next one real fast. So,
Yeah.
like I always tell people, I had two different children's moms, you know, one's and the other at the same time. So once my daughter got here, she was already 6 months ahead of my son, but she started walking at 6 months, and once she started walking, like it was over. She was everywhere. But as far as like when you see kids, and I don't even understand how they be seeing the small stuff, they'll find it and pick it up. But the thing about it is, she was so enamored with, making sure that she gave me certain things and seeking my approval that certain things she just wouldn't play with. She used to always just bring it to me. And, I always reinforced it by saying thank you and everything like that. As far as like, where most kids, they pick up something in that daggone mouth, start playing with it, play with sharp objects. Most of the time, I make sure I'm very organized and everything. I guess you would say I have OCD with that type of stuff, so I ain't leave stuff hanging around too much. But like her mother used to do certain things, like leave cups near the end of the table and stuff like that. I always had to tell her, like, yo, it's a daggone child in here, like they're going to do certain things that will, knock certain things over, pick certain things up. So the best thing to do is make sure we clean up behind ourselves and make sure that shit is prevented. As
Right.
long as you, organized and everything, it really don't be no problems. Um, a lot of stuff I allow her to explore. I just watch to see how she learned. And the same thing with my son. And they used to be funny as hell when they used to walk around. They really thought they was doing. They really be thinking they be doing something and talking to each other and stuff. And she'd be holding his hand and was pulling him around and stuff. And I remember when she first started learning how the daggone TV cut on. So she used to take the daggone, pull the daggone plug out the wall, walk to the front of the TV, point to her and look at her. I said, yeah, it's off. Go right back to the back what's the name? Plug it back up, come back to the front of the TV, push the button, and point to her. I said, yeah, it's on.
Oh, okay.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, that's why I tell people all the time I used to have fun. Like, still have a great time with my children. It's, just watching them grow and learn and explore and do certain things is, the best gig. Like, most people be like, I ain't having no more fucking kids. I'm tired. I'm like, well, damn, I'm glad that wasn't my experience. That wasn't my experience. They bad as shit. They don't listen. I'm like, damn, like, I ain't even got to talk to my kids too much. Like, I just look at them. They stop doing what they doing.
That's wild. That's wild truth.
I say always give the grace to God, man. I say all the time. Like, when people ask me, I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of the stories I hear, yeah, I give all grace to God. He gave me some.
Well, actually, I got a little question. I got a little question for my man Watts, real quick. Yo, Watts, my brother. Whenever you let's say you had homeboys in school, bro. Whenever y'all sparred, man, did y'all ever like dap each other up afterwards?
I mean, it depends. Sometimes somebody take a mean L and we don't talk to each other for like 20, 30 minutes, but we'll dap up eventually.
Oh, okay. See, for me, Jedi here. Oh shoot! Now we about to get into it. But
me and my brother, like, we have this thing to where if we go a while without seeing each other, every time like right now he's stationed in Germany. It's been the last time I saw him was Christmas last year. And me and him already know the next time we see each other, we got to go in the backyard and have a quick little slap boxing session. We always like to see if I still got it, he got it. We always got to check each other out.
Well, let me see if you still got it. I've been seeing your ass in a minute too.
Oh, don't act like you be tapping in and out.
Square
too,
up,
motherfucker.
Square up.
You be in and out too, motherfucker.
Come on, Cletus.
Look, meet me on Jefferson. How about that? I know where you at.
Oh yeah, you actually. Oh my God, you actually do. Well, he know where my parents live, but he don't know where I live. But
same difference.
Next week. I'll be there.
If I know where your mama live, I know where you
live. Okay, you got me on that one.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd Truth go?
No, he dropped off. I don't know if he said he'll be back, but the link's in there in case he wants to come back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll be back.
I just realized that we got an extra hour. I just realized that today.
Yeah, man. If I'm not freaking
I had no clue.
Have you already seen the new Black Panther Jedi?
No. I purposely did not see because there was a press screening about 2 weeks ago. But I purposely chose not to because I was seeing it with my fraternity, and we had like a screening. We have like a this Thursday, and but yeah, I just want to see what folks. That was it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, I'm seeing it Thursday with my buddies. I got a day off for that.
Yeah, I start my job Tuesday here, and then I only got like a couple weeks left of school, and I'm done. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Avatar comes out. Yeah, and Avatar comes out on the 16th of December. So those are big two I'm looking for.
Is that a new movie, or did they just like remastered or some shit? Like, what's up with that?
No, it's a sequel. Finally, after how many years? Almost 12.
Okay. Yeah. See, I thought I saw the commercial, but I thought it was some bullshit because it was on
Nah.
Instagram when I saw it.
Yeah, no, I know. I almost fooled you. Yeah, because like, they did re-released it in 4K. They had like a showing for it. Like they brought it back to the theaters, but they had a shot in 4K, like remastered, and that was like I think back in I want to say beginning of October. Yeah, around beginning of October. Yeah, yeah. But but yeah, then but the sequel and the next three sequels actually got 2, 3, and 4 coming the following Christmases. So yeah, this one coming this Christmas, then the third one come out the following Christmas. So yeah. So yeah. This one could be underwater. Where do you go?
I've been here.
No, he left too.
Oh, what? God damn, what? Who's dropping? Did he? I didn't hear him say he had to leave or what? What happened? I was like chilling for like a second, and then I'm like, what happened?
Mm.
Okay, I'm going on camera. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm just doing like a little late stream real quick for like maybe an hour or two. Or maybe not two,
Okay.
but just like an hour or something. Like I said,
Okay.
just to like talk about anything anybody wants to get off their chest or talk about. I'm willing to hear you out. I'm in a cinema therapy chill mood right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I do recommend for you to watch Silent Voice. Silent Voice is really good.
Well, I've seen Silent Voice.
You seen Silent Voice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Cinema
Actually,
Therapy been on it though, bro. Like I'm saying, it really became one of my favorite channels, bro.
oh, you do. I think they're my number one channel to go to.
Straight up. Straight up.
I'm gonna be real. I think they're my number one. Dead serious because everything they do is just so particularly calculated. They did the Phantom of the Opera, which I remember watching that movie a long time ago, and I'm like, yo, they're actually doing that. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I forgot when the recent they did with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, you know, talking about how they, you know,
Oh yeah.
after they got divorced, but the film was them wiping their memories and they're trying to, you know, realize what they actually feel with each other and stuff like that. It's actually pretty good. Like I thought the way they explained it was good, but I got my girl to watch 500 Days of Summer.
Nice.
You know, and how that film, like those are only several films actually the good talking about relationships or break the construct of it, you know, of the stigma of it though. But yeah, but then I have to get her on House of Dragons and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I finally finished House of Dragons. Me and freaking was his man before you came on yesterday. Me and Andrew were talking about it for a good while. And yeah. Actually, let me ask you. Well, like I said, I will get back to Silent Voice in a second, but I want to ask you, what was your overall grade for House of Dragons?
man, it was off the chain.
And did you have a favorite character?
Aemon and Damon.
Damon. See,
Aemon and Damon.
Great black men think alike. I just said the same thing.
Aemon and Damon.
Aemon and Damon.
First,
Yeah, I would have said.
First of all,
I'm gonna say Damon and young Rhaenyra when she was
Oh yeah, that's my third.
The reason why
because
she was so much like a Dany character, and I thought they were gonna set her up to be one of the instead of being the one that gets married off and have kids, she was gonna be like the warrior type character.
Yeah,
Literally,
like I like
it's like Dany.
It's like if it was up to me, I would like have the younger Rhaenyra and have the older Alicent. Yeah, that's just my opinion, but like those are my like which one I pick in terms of the younger and older versions. I will say Sir Kristen Cole though, like that dude has some vampire blood or whatever. He going through all like her as a child, and her kids and her kids and all stuff, and he still look young like he's from the Backstreet Boys and shit. So nah, but I will say also King Viserys too. Surprisingly, he was like one of my most annoying characters because how stupid he was in the beginning, just because like as a king. But at the end, I'm like, I felt for him, obviously because he's dying.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw him as a noble man, but there were some things that he was fine up against. And I know Mandro, we gotta talk about that. And it's just like I think when it comes to the Game of Thrones world, there's no such thing as a noble king.
There's no such thing. That's why, because there's a problem with.
Yeah, you have to be fucked up. Apparently,
because that's the thing.
I'm not with that messaging. That's what that message tells me. As cinema therapy would say, I don't want to walk away and say this. You gotta be fucked up to be a king. I'm like, no.
Well, even then, we got Black Panther coming out, right? You know,
Well,
what if
Chadwick's
King
gone in that movie, so you can't say he's a bad king.
No. Well, I'm saying like back in the first movie, King T'Chaka told him like, "Hey, you're a good man with a good heart, but it's hard
Right.
for a good man to
Good
be a
man to be a
king."
king, which is facts. That's
You
facts.
know.
Like,
So I thought that was the whole thing with King Viserys. That I was like, okay, listen, he's actually a good dude. He means well. He is a Targaryen, so he does have bad habits,
yeah,
right?
he does.
But but at the same time, at the end, you felt the regret, which unfortunately, and I hope, and I, one shape, form, or another, that we all have faced with family, where you have the older grandparent looking at all the, kids and uncles and cousins and nephews, and how, and we're all fighting with each other, knowing that they were the result of this dysfunction, you know. And just looking back, listen, I'm about to
Right.
die, y'all. Can you at least give me this one good time good dinner before I go, before I go? And that was especially when he walked to the crown, to the throne, bro. And then when the
Yeah.
crown fell off his head, and it was Damon who crowned him. Man, I almost teared up, bro. That got me. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, but,
Damon Snow became one of my favorite characters. Oh, and by the way, Mandro, I mean not Mandro, freaking Jedi, you need to know something. I finally watched Morbius. It was on Netflix. I decided to finally give it a watch and see what you guys were saying. It was okay. Pretty much what you guys said. Okay.
What do you watch?
I watched Morbius for the first time finally. It was on Netflix.
Morbius. Oh,
Yeah. And it was okay.
I didn't get a
the
chance to watch
effects,
that
I mean,
yet.
I'll say this. The only good thing were the effects. The effects are nice. But that's about it. Pretty much it. I wouldn't say anything that. But no. But I think overall, when it comes to like a silent voice, more often than not, and that's it's not meant for entertainment. Like what cinema therapy said. I've said the same thing. It's a learning story of dealing with of how someone can connect with anybody, and you torturing and punishing yourself for your past mistakes. And I resonated with that. I wasn't a bully, but there was a lot of things that
shout out to
I
Uncle
tortured
Bolo.
myself with. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I feel for the main character. I'm like, that's the first time I think a movie ever made me sympathize with the bully, where I'd be like, yeah, I'm actually sympathizing with him. Because he wanted to make a change because he made a change for himself. It actually betters himself as a person, and like he actually putting in work to fix that shit that he did. And I'm just like, I don't see anybody in real life doing what he's doing. When they do, then I'll probably go around with a smile on my face at that point, which you'll rarely see. But yeah, but I think the film really speaks to, like you said, let's start with cinema therapy. Depression doesn't start or doesn't fully go away sometimes. Sometimes it's just there, but like I said, there's a capacity to feel and want to feel connected to someone. Hence, my next topic will be connection. Like why we see connection, why we see validation and things like that. Stuff, the need to be around other people instead of isolation.
I
And the
wouldn't say
reason
the need is finding the right people, because I was watching some
Hello.
healthy program a little while ago. Hey, Bolo TV, my elder.
Bolo.
Fellas, good night.
it is a good night.
This is how
But
I
that's
know
to
he's
me.
from the Caribbean. Africa, you don't say good night, we say good evening. Caribbean
Good
people will say good night.
Good evening. Everything good. How about that?
Hey, Uncle
How you
Bolo,
doing,
how you
brother?
doing?
Bolo
I
TV,
had that
man?
issue with my wife every time she say good night. I'm like, huh? You say good night when you're saying goodbye? Like,
Hey,
It is
Bolo,
what it
we need
is.
to catch up.
Yeah, trust me, I would love a Bolo TV and a Jedi Mike collab. That'd be dope.
Yeah, but
Oh,
we need to catch
man.
up.
You gotta have Black David in the building.
oh boy,
Yup.
you want to? Y'all want
I
to
know
pick
you're
my
gonna have
brain
trouble.
again?
That night,
Y'all
that night,
Yeah, want to
you're
pick
gonna
my
have
brain
trouble.
again. That's
You're
the
gonna have
problem.
problem that night. That night you're gonna have problems. A lot of intellectual conversation. Have your pens and your pads out.
And that's needed, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like to talk about deep level stuff with people who are not at that level yet, because when you bring out things to them, they'll look at you like, huh? I'm like, forget it. You will not understand.
They look at you like you have 8 heads. You know what it is, Black David. It's about conversations that I see that you have. You're solution based, and the conversations aren't that long because when you're solution based, you're not really focused on the problem. You're focused on how do we get to where we need to be. You
And
know,
that my uncle taught me very, very well. You can think about a problem 100 times,
Mhm.
and nothing going to change unless you're looking for a solution to fix that problem.
Absolutely. What they call that in therapy paralysis of analysis.
Analysis.
They
Right.
get stuck in being over analytical of what needs to be done. And that's only because they're afraid. You tend to think about it. When you know you got what you have and you need to do what you need to do, you move. And
Right.
and,
Well,
and you're in
Make gains
the
and move.
process
oh,
of moving whatever adjustments that you need to make, you make them. But when someone is so over analytical about something, the question needs to be is what are you afraid of? Let's not
well,
even talk about the problem. Let's talk about what you're afraid of. You
well,
know,
okay. I have a
Oh yeah,
quote.
we
I mean,
talked about that too earlier, my friend. We're talking about fear, but also we're talking about like trauma, and then after that, well, like I said, it tied off from that to like actual like we're talking about relationships, things like that specifically, and how we really spoke about like the trope where like nobody wants to put any work or anything, and then it's just like if they had a fear of something or a phobia of something, then it keeps them from doing lots of things. But that's more of a the long term journey work they got to do to get themselves to be right.
What the fear of
I think
success
that
to be successful?
So what?
absolutely.
You call that the fear of being successful? Is that what it is?
Well, that could be one of them. There could be a fear of that. God, it's such a stereotype, but let's do it. If you're born into an Asian family, the expectation is that you should. There is no such thing as a 99. There's only 100. Am I right?
No, you're not wrong.
Listen,
You
I got
correct
Asian
on that one.
friends, and I know how their parents.
Y- You,
So yeah,
when we start talking about these things, what's so important is
I can't take that seriously, bro. You look like a thug, brother. Stop.
come on, Jedi man,
Stop,
come on,
Jedi.
baby.
Come on, Jedi. You
You
better.
know when you start, the word that you used is so important because when you start having conversations with people, you start, I don't think we understand words, and there's a difference between fear and being afraid. Afraid is healthy.
Hmm.
Afraid
Right.
is healthy. Afraid teaches you, to be respectful. It teaches you not to underestimate your opponent, underestimate whatever you tend on going into. Fear keeps you from moving.
That's true.
Fear stops you. And there's a big difference from being afraid and being fearful. You know what I'm saying? Fear cuts you off at the knees. Fear cuts you from having faith, from trust, from being confident, and then ultimately being a conqueror. Fear stops that. And then when you're dealing with fear, it keeps you from moving in the correct direction. You start making up things. Oh my God, brother. You look like one of the early 1990 singers, man.
He does. Yo,
Rex in
Jedi.
effect. You look at he
I
got
mean,
this
Bolo,
going.
yo, Jedi,
Bolo,
you trying to be
you're
pretty
not gonna
Ricky
believe
right
this,
now?
Bolo. Bolo, you're not gonna believe that. You sound like this guy from Queen, Richie Righteous, that
Who's this?
minister. Another guy named in Queens, his name is Richie Righteous. That's his quote unquote stay gospel rap name.
Okay.
And he had the same thing you think. He said about fear that he said you need to be rich. And you're like, what? Rested in Christ's hand. I'm like, oh, I get it.
You got to understand that because this is what you have to understand. The direct enemy, the direct opposite of faith is fear.
Hmm.
And
mm,
let me
That
give
is
you the
facts.
explanation on that. Because when you're afraid of something,
Hmm.
you're gonna double check, triple check, make sure everything is right. Right? When you're fearful of something, if I'm afraid that if I say to Black David, yo, listen, man, I need you to pick me up at 5 o'clock, and I'm afraid that he's gonna be late, then what I'm gonna do
Right.
is make sure I call him a few times before. I'm gonna call him at 4:45. I'm gonna call him at 4:30. If I'm fearful of him not coming, I'm already setting plans up. I'm deviating from the plan that I had with him. I'm already moving on my own accord. And there's a difference. So when you have faith in the Father, okay, and fear kicks in, fear makes you do your own thing. Fear makes you do your own thing. It makes you put your agenda above his. And that's the difference from being afraid. Because when you read Psalms, plenty of times David speaks about being fearful or being afraid. Plenty of times he talks about him trembling. But he always says at the end of it, I trust in you, Lord. So he wasn't fearful. So we have to start talking more positive in the aspect of understanding the different terminology, because when you don't understand what you're saying, you speak that as an affirmation. You know what I'm saying? You
You're
don't
right
know
about
what
it.
you're talking about.
You're right about it. Because here's the
You know,
thing.
Shit.
There was a church I attended in Brooklyn, and they had to talk about fear. And I told people, there are two definitions of fear and the two definitions of love. What do you mean? What you could talk about fear is not the same as the biblical fear. There's the biblical fear and there's the worldly fear. Then there's the biblical love and there's the worldly love. And what people don't get, the Bible says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I always like to hang out in the book of Proverbs. That will keep me grounded majority of my life, because for some reason I learned from my high school teacher, my uncle in my country, who was like a pastor minister. He always tell me certain scriptures you need to ponder on. And at first I forgot it until I came back to one. I went to one particular church and I remember these certain scriptures, and I realized it. These were the same scriptures my uncle used to read a lot. So I started to do the same exact thing. Now I got nothing against on the book of Psalms. I had nothing against it, but I noticed from my culture among women, they like to dwell in that book alone and never venture off in any other book. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So when I started reading the book of Proverbs, the book of Ezekiel, the book of Isaiah, that was my mind started to expand. I was like, you know what? I can see why it's not going to stay in one place. Because when you stay in one place, you be stuck in that place. The book of Proverbs is the book of wisdom. Not many people read those books, but they go and buy self-help books. And those self-help books, it's actually copying the book of Proverbs.
right.
I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I used to have all these real scholar-like conversations in church only with very few selected people who are on that level. So I'll pick the brain of those folks to see if they can help me to get to the next level. If they're
Right.
above me, I will listen. I'll sit down,
Absolutely.
listen, and ask questions. I don't like to be around people who are not trying to climb. When you're not a climber, you like to stay stagnant. It
Mm.
becomes irritating to me. That is why I
Oh,
don't have certain people in my circle.
Tristan's here. Oh god. Tristan, my brother.
So
They
when you
get
see me on
stuck.
when you see me on a panel, how I speak, how I think, and how I react to certain things is because I sense something of a person that let me know this person like to look for excuse to stay where he at. I don't need people like that around me. I need people who willing to be bold, not egotistic. There's a difference between being
They
ego and boldness. Boldness comes from
see
the sign of humbleness. When you are humble,
absolutely,
you get different of being bold. People who
and,
are
and
prideful have ego.
absolutely, and that's the difference. A lot of times people don't. Even when you talk about confidence and ego,
Hmm.
confidence comes from something within you. Ego is something that's outside of you. And it's just understanding these words that we use every day. When we start to, we take it for granted. And when you start to understand and you start to elevate the mind, because what people don't understand that these words that we're using can either build you or can crush you. And and
Very
and
true.
you, and you must be concise in how you speak. You have to be.
You have
And
to. You're
and
Tristan.
that
I love that, by the way.
The
absolutely.
Bible, the Bible did say that to let your yea be yea, let your no be
Your
no.
nay be nay. You know what I'm saying? So you have to. The Lord tells you, think about what you say before you respond. Hear the
Exactly.
matter out. Hear the matter out. A lot of the times, man. I think what we do, Black David, Jedi, Tristan, and Jay. I think a lot of the times what we do is, it's like Lyric gave me this example, and it's a perfect example. It's like sometimes you can hear someone can come and talk to you, and they can have a nail in their head, a nail in their forehead, and they're telling you what their problem is, right? They're telling you their problem, but we're
Yeah.
so focused on the nail in their head that we're not listening to what they're saying their problem is. And in our minds, we deduct that if we take the nail out their head, the problem is solved, and it's not. That's our focus. Our focus is always on the outside, opposed to listening to the inside of what that person is saying. You feel what I'm saying? So,
That's very true.
we need to start to really take the time to have conversations. This is not easy, man. It's not.
Uh,
It's not
Not that it's
easy.
not. It's not that it's not easy. I think here the problem, and people are not exposed to seeing people in a very
okay.
organized way of conversation, whereby no one interrupting nobody. Everybody listening to what a person is saying from start to finish. No one saying, "Oh, stop long choke." And I'm not gonna lie. When I hear that terminology, long choking, that's why I realize it's not something from the men of wisdom and understanding. It's coming from the modernization of let's keep it short, let's keep it simple, aka Twitter. Nothing truthful came out of Twitter. I hate to say it. I'm an IT
What
professional
a
and I
baby.
monitor every social media platform. Twitter is what it is. Junk.
I
Snapchat
don't
is
even know
what
how to
it is.
work.
Junk. But the problem is everybody think you can make everything make sense under 240 characters. Really?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because
So
again,
when
it doesn't make sense, Black David. It doesn't.
I know.
That's why a lot of the times when you see me on panels, and I hope that someone like you pops up if I'm there by myself, because typically I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say and then I'm gonna leave.
I know.
I
Right.
can't stay in circular conversations. If it's not gonna
I
be
don't
something,
blame you.
yeah,
I
if
really
it's
don't
not gonna
blame you.
be something to move for, what we do, I think a lot, we mistake movement for progress. We think because we're moving, we think that we're moving forward. You could be moving in the same place that you're in and think that you're progressive and you're not, you know. So if it's not gonna be a situation where we're gonna talk about solutions, and I understand talking about the problem, but the problem must be progressive. It must move to solutions. We can talk about the root all day, you know it just becomes circular, and I find myself watching. A lot of the times I'm in the background, David, and
I
i'm
know you are.
watching and I'm watching all these different platforms box up the same conversation and just have it differently, but it's the same.
It called
It's
you take the same problem, even though you reword it or you rewrite it, it's still
Jedi.
the
there,
same exact thing.
there
Nothing
you go.
being made forward. And the problem with
It-
people when you trying to confront them about it, they say, what is the problem right now? We know what the problem is. Are you willing to work on a solution? If you're not about a solution, there's no point about the problem again. You gotta be
that's it.
solution based.
It has to
For
be.
a so-called community who is not focused on solution based, it's not really much of a community to begin with.
And that's what bothers me, because when we want to have the conversation about the black community, I try to have it more open, because it's not just about the black community. But
Hmm.
if they want to have the conversation about the black community, and you start talking about the issues that we have in our community, they just always throw at you the white man, the white man, the white man, the white man. And yeah, brother, yeah, I understand. I get it. I'm not telling you that the government or society isn't a problem when it comes to the black community. I'm not telling you that. But what I am telling you is it ain't a white man that's shooting us in the back. It ain't a white man that's robbing us. It's not a white man that's killing the rapper. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to take the problems that are ours and solve them, and then the problems that are theirs, we can deal with that. But before I can pay your phone bill, I gotta pay mine. We gotta
And
look in.
brother,
We gotta
I'm
look
glad
in
you
the
said that.
be truthful. Yeah, Black Day. We have to be truthful with each other. If I can't be truthful with myself, You know, and this is what we talk about in the village all the time. Look in the mirror and look at what's staring back at you. Self introspection is so important. This is why God tells you love your brother like you love yourself. You have to have a love for yourself first. So when I treat Black David with love, I'm going to want him to treat me the way I would treat myself.
The Bible say also Christ said, "Do unto other one other to do unto you."
Absolutely. Absolutely. So until we learn how to, and then when you know, again, when you're looking at trauma, and you're looking at these people doing what they're doing, that's because they don't have a love for themselves. That's because they
And
don't have a love for themselves. Because if you,
hear the
it's not,
joke, Polo. Hear the joke. You and I in New York City. New York City is always have been what they call the perfect example to watch
right.
every other ethnic and community and see how they operate.
Absolutely.
And people don't get it when we say what we said, that when you're out here in this city just long enough, you understand why certain ethnic groups are thriving and why others are not. You
Yes.
see who is willing to put in the work and who is willing not to put in the work.
Yeah.
I
You're
used to say
absolutely
this.
Very true.
I used to say this. Bolo know this one. You know who's always on point? Exactly 6 o'clock in the morning in Manhattan, under the Manhattan Bridge near the park. The one particular ethnic group of people who were up and ready doing the same routine time after time again before they get ready to go to work. Bolo know then what I'm talking about. 6 o'clock in the morning, you see these Chinese people doing Tai
Yes.
Chi way early
Absolutely.
in the morning with multiple groups
Yep.
early in the morning
But
before they go straight to work. And I ask myself this question: these people have a structure and order in place to keep
Mhm.
them moving, to keep them striving. When we look at black folk, what do we do? Middle of the night, getting drunk, getting wasted, falling off the corner. And I'm like, why don't you learn from others? You know what? Let me pick up a different type of habit and see where it would take me to.
Yeah.
Now they go to YouTube now.
For all their
You know,
problems.
but you know what's so awesome about what you just said, Black David? What's so
Yeah,
awesome is, why do they do that? Because they're ordering their spirit aright. They're getting their chi correct. You feel what I'm
facts,
saying? They're getting their mind right for the day. They're taking
facts.
time to deal with themselves, to prepare themselves to go out into the world. You know, we don't do that. We don't take the time
You hit
to
it on the nail.
order
You hit it on
ourselves,
the nail.
to meditate, to sit down and actually plan out. Now we know things don't plan out the way it is, but have a direction. I don't leave my house unless I have a direction. I'm not going outside just to drive aimlessly. So these men and women, they wake up and they carved out a time for them to get their mind right. The day don't start until they get their mind right. The day don't start. That's what we need to
And
do.
and you and I have seen it for many years. If you live in the city long enough, I've been seeing that since the early '80s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They've
Before
been
that.
doing this for so
Yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah,
And it's almost like a religion in a way that
yeah.
you have other ethnic groups coming in and join in. I remember one time I
And
saw a
just
white
join in.
guy do the same thing with them every morning.
Yep,
And
just
for
national
some reason,
conversation.
And
he's like,
David, it's not even them talking. It's just them, moving their hands and just being in one. So if you come, you can just merge in. There
bingo.
is no conversation. It's just them just doing. They're just doing. And even if you don't know what they're doing, just to be there and to be at one, to be at peace. That's the most important, to be at peace.
And they
To take,
always work at the collective. If you notice
there
that,
you
they
go.
always work at the collective. And
Absolutely.
that's another example that I see. The Jewish community is no different. But when it comes to the black so-called community, no one will everybody individuality. Everybody
Yeah.
want to be an individual.
I'm my own
If
man.
one person doing things the right way, oh, you're a sellout. Oh, you think you're white? God forbid you
Yep.
speak proper. God forbid.
You know how many people
Know that they call me
I was
out here when
white?
I speak proper. I'm a preppy white boy in a black man body.
There you go. You know how many people I've had ask me if I was white, and it's crazy. It's crazy when they ask me that. You know, I gotta laugh, and they say, "Why?" I say, "Nah."
It's not that crazy.
No, it's crazy for me. It's crazy for me. I'm the purest
You got it,
black
bro.
individual. The fact that I came straight for the motherland with no filter in. I'm
Absolutely.
pure black.
Yes.
So ask me that. Or say, and I say I'm not black enough. Imagine somebody African guy. I'll say, oh, you're not, or telling you you're not black enough. I'm like, huh?
Huh? Yeah. I've had that. I'm not black enough. I'm not this, and my response to them is this: what's black? Because I've never seen a black man in my life. I've seen different shades of brown. I've seen people close to it. So you know, even when you get into the words, black means dark, evil, lack of color. You know, white means beautiful, good. You know, so
I
now
know.
we got to
It's
start.
a
You know,
class.
yeah. So when you start giving these names even to the kids, that's why I say that words are so important. You know, when I say black, I say it in the community so that I can keep the conversation moving. But when you go into the actual words, these are the things that you're putting on yourself. You know what I'm saying? My parents are Haitian. Haiti means hell. So you start putting on these words and don't understand the terminologies that you're putting on yourself. You don't know.
And
We
that's the
have to
funny thing
start.
about it. That word black only existed in this country,
Absolutely. This
within
country.
this structure. The more
Yes.
you walk out of this country, you go to another country. You don't use my country, Nigeria. Use Ghana, for example. Ain't nobody calling each other black. Either you're from Ghana, either from the Ivory Coast, either from Nigeria. No one calling each other black.
They
That's a
call you
social
by
construct.
Yep.
yes.
And they
And
try
that's
to
what
make it some strange reason over here. I'm like, yeah, I'm black, and what does that mean? But
Yup.
but see that's the
I
point.
hear the
The
joke.
point is
I want to hear this guy. Here,
when
guys.
you're in the construct of America, right? When you're in the construct of America and you say black, you really don't feel the negativity in it. It's when you go outside of the country and people ask you what you are and you say I'm black. That's not your nationality. We're asking you what you are, your ethnicity. Where are you from? Are you from
exactly,
America?
my culture is Trinidadian, so
No doubt.
so when people say that, they like, oh, you're not American, like you're not. They they be surprised, like, oh, you don't act American. Like I'll say I'm from America, but my culture is Trinidadian.
Absolutely.
Like my thing is peace and love. So like when people like go there, I'm like, we're not looked at as weak walking away. You know what I'm saying? We're like,
Yeah.
smart move. You chose not to go to jail. That's how you look at it. You're not look as weak as, oh, I need to prove my manhood. I'm like my
And
grandma
that's
would
the
say,
thing.
you don't have a penis? What do you mean you're not a man?
But you see, that's what they've dumbed down. You know, when you say that's what they've dumbed down our manhood to. They
Hmm.
dumbed down our manhood to going to jail, sleeping with women, making money, selling drugs, or rapping.
And that
They,
bugged me the most.
of course, it does. They didn't. They don't talk to you about being intellectual. They don't talk to you about being a thinker. They don't talk to you about always. It's easier to fight opposed to trying to reason out the situation. Now, fighting is not off the table, but if I can get around it, then I'd rather go around it, above it, below it, opposed to going through it. Your first movement is to fight, be over emotional. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm finding now in the black community, the the complaining that they're saying that the black woman is doing, I'm seeing the black man complain just as much.
Facts.
I'm seeing they doing the same
Facts.
thing.
They're whining. Yeah,
The
brother Bolo said the same thing.
And you'll have
But
the women saying, "So what do you want to do?" And you'll hear the men still whining, and I'm like, "Bro, you
But
guys
here,
don't get it,
I,
man."
let me add on. Let me add on to this. It's not that they complain and they're whining. Their
That's
demeanor, the walk, the mannerism, the way they respond, the way they react to things. I start to question myself. Do living in Nigeria save me from this madness?
Yes.
Ooh, yes, it did.
Because those 7 years that I spent over there,
Right.
whatever how you want to call it, programming that America been put on black people got removed completely, dismantled. Then I got to understand things on a much deeper, deeper level. Perfect example I've said before. In this country, they make fun of the people who are studying, who are striving to be great academically. Here, over there, or you and JB in Haiti, the one who are academically sound are on the top of the totem pole. The dumb one are considered to be the outcasts. People are striving to gain knowledge, to gain understanding. And they could get hold of books that will expand their mind to the next level. They will read that book under the street light if they have to, or under a lantern or a candlelight. Then when I come back over here and I see people who are not striving to get to that next level, God forgive you speak proper. God forbid you have a deeper level of understanding. God forgive you have a deeper level of comprehension. God forbid you able to understand things that most people who live around you don't understand. Oh, so you white now just suddenly? Really? The Bible says our people suffer for their lack of knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 13.
Mm.
He who surrounded himself with wise counsel will be wise, but he who surrounded himself with fools will be destroyed. They're the reason why I don't be around echo chambers.
These cats fight with knowledge. These cats fight with knowledge like they fighting each other in the street.
Nope.
And what they don't get is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is only going to make them better, get them out of the situation they're in. The reason why we are in the situation that we are in is because of our thought process, because we are separated from our creator. And if you would just change your mind state, you look at things totally different. Two people see things totally different. You see the cup half full, I might see it half empty.
Yeah.
But we're looking at the same situation. But because of my experiences and because of yours, if you limit your thought process, it limits your reasoning. It limits your cognitive thought to be able to see things from a different perspective to help you get out of
Facts.
the wrong.
And I'm glad you said that because hear this joke, Bolo. I'm a Christian, not a typical Christian. 2011, 2012, I came across another black brother, African brother, but he from an Islamic faith, right? That
Right.
didn't stop me having a conversation with him. I was doing one of the biggest IT projects of my career starting off. He was doing security. He come to me several times. Oh, we did have questions left and right. Good intellectual conversation. He asked me, is it possible for you to transition from security into computer? I put it aside. What is holding you back going into? He said, I don't know. I'm afraid. Stop being afraid. If you have the desire, you have to do will, you can push yourself through and make it through. Anyone can do that as long as they have the will and desire to do so.
Mm.
In less than a year, the boy got into the IT arena. He started to climb. You know what he did? One time he
What?
reached out to me and he hit me up and said, thank you for the advice. I said, for what? Thank you for pushing me going in the right direction. I said, and I said, why he said that? Because he said, if I didn't speak to you, I would have been down on myself and still be in security to this day. And he's a man of Islamic faith. I'm a Christian, but that didn't stop me from having an intellectual conversation with a brother and trying to remove whatever thing that blocked his blind and let him know, guess what? I did the same thing too. I told him I went from Mickey D doing
Right.
security, did all type of odd jobs,
Right.
make sure I have the time to study, get myself prepared and work on my craft to get when I
Right.
get there. I don't have a college degree. Thank to my parents for sabotaging my educational path due to their own personal agenda. But I still dug it out. I still say no. I'm not going to quit. As long as you have breath and you're still breathing, you can still make it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's I tell people every morning, man, is when you listen, as long as you wake up, you get a chance to do it better than you did yesterday. As long as you have air in your lungs. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna have tomorrow's problems. Let's figure out what today is. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be so caught up. A lot of the times we're so caught up in tomorrow that we stop living for today. We
Yeah.
don't enjoy the moment that we're in right now. You don't enjoy the people that's around you. You don't enjoy the message that is being given to you right now. You see that young man you spoke to? He
Hmm.
took that message. He took that message. And the beauty of it is, this is the beauty that I see in you, David, that you're not afraid to give that message out. You don't keep it to yourself. You
I
give
never
you
did.
you give it out freely. And that's the beauty of what we do. We give it to you freely. Take
I
this
never,
here.
I never stopped doing it. I've been doing it for so long. But guess what? The same message I gave him, if I give that same message to family and maybe close family friend, they don't listen. What do you know? How
Mhm.
you should? And I'm like, wow. And I see that over the years. It's funny how people who are not related to me,
So the people
either
outside
either
of you
by
listen to
blood,
you.
either
Yes.
by marriage or any type of connection,
Mm,
whatever what I saw into them, they're able to multiply it more than the one within my own circle of people.
You know
mm.
why? Because the people outside of you, usually the people that are closest to us feel the gravitational pull of the success that you might have. But those that are outside that's starving, they're going to take that information that you gave because they're going to cultivate that from a seed to a plant to a grown ass tree. That's what they're going to do. See, this is the saying that I heard that I keep. If you spoil your child, you'll raise your grandchild. And if you raise your child, you'll spoil your grandchild. So typically what happens is when you have parents spoil their child don't understand money, their child don't understand the struggle, their child don't know how to be tenacious and malleable in certain situations. So what do you have happen? You have them bring your grandchild and you wind up being a parent at 65 again. Instead
Yep.
of you retiring, you babysitting. So if you raise your child, allow them to fall, allow them to understand what it is to struggle, allow them to understand the pitfalls. You'll be able to take your grandchild and spoil them, give them the candy when their parents don't want them to have the candy. You know what I'm saying? Take them to the park when the parents, you know what I'm saying? When you'll be able to do that. But see, a lot of us, what we tend to do is we want to give them, our children, everything that we didn't have. And what we don't understand is we hurt them when we do that.
Well, it's funny that you said that, and I remember I heard from somebody. I think somebody played that video with Willie Martin, and I heard it. I was like, "Gosh,"
Hmm.
because here it is. I'm a granddad. I'm trying to
I think
put
everybody says
structure.
that. Like, I'm not
I'm
gonna
trying
do
to
that
put
first.
structure and order in my kids,
Oh, interesting.
but I still do the same thing to my grandkids.
Mm,
Wow.
I never stop. I got three grandkids. When they get out of line, I put them to the side. When your mother and your father talk to you and tell you what to do, you listen. When you don't listen, you get on grandpa bad side. Now, do you want to get on grandpa bad side? I got one granddaughter and two grandsons through my stepdaughter, who I consider as my own daughter. I'm a
absolutely.
stepdad. And my stepdaughter will tell you I treat her as if she is my blood, regardless. Because what I do with her, what I do with anybody, I will continue to show nothing but level of wisdom and insight in her. Let her know what the world is like outside. She's the general manager in Chipotle. But I asked her the question, are you planning to go to the next level? Whatever you want to do, let me know so we can have this conversation so I can help you map your path so it won't be full of struggle and pain. I wish I had people who would do the same thing that I do and sat me down, show me the way, and willing to help me when I having some struggle.
You know why? I'm glad that you didn't, because you wouldn't be the brother you are today if you had that.
Yep.
You
Well
wouldn't be the
said.
brother you are today if you didn't have it. I can see the battle scars.
And
I can
passion in his eyes too.
I can see the passion. I can see the stress. I can see that that's the beauty of you and your conversation, because when you connect, I could talk to you all night because I can hear, and that's, you're still connected, Black David. A lot of men, when they grow up, they take that passion, that hurt, that pain that they feel, and they put it to the side and only connect to the results. And
Yep.
that's like going to a movie and not hearing sound. What's gonna
Yeah.
connect what's gonna connect us to the youngins is that pain that you feel. Because they're gonna sit there, because what do they always say to you, Black David? You don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's different than you know how it was when you were growing up. And you look at them and say, yo, Duke, look at the tears, look at the pain in my eyes. Are you out of your damn mind? Ain't nothing different. The
You
only
know how many
thing
times
is
I
you
wanted
have
to
more.
say that to people?
Come on, man. They say that to me all the time. You don't understand. So the only difference between now and then is your access. Everything is the same. Nothing's
Simple,
changed.
Right.
simple like
Nothing
this.
changed.
I just lost a mentor of mine 4 days ago.
My condolences to you, brother.
Yeah. Much respect.
My mentor, younger brother, who I talked to, he able to leave Nigeria to come out here. He live in Texas. We talk from whenever we get a chance. We have real good conversation. He let me know my mentor with his older brother passed away from a stroke. He be having strokes since 2019. His brother was one of my mentors. He's also my mentor. I have three within the same family. He is one of them. He got me into working out and onto the fundamental of lifting weight and working out. His younger brother, who, oh my God, I still miss that dude to this day. The man passed away around 2000 in an accident. I still remember to the day. And the way my country at that time, they just watched let the man bleed out. When I tell you I hated my country for that, I did hate my country for that.
Wow.
That was one of my precious mentors who instilled a lot of wisdom and insight in me. I took very, very serious. And this guy Audible with another one. He was a great guitarist, he was a great vocalist, he was a choir director. He the one had schooled me, even though I learned how to play the drum through him. I had a couple of mentors in my life that guide me in the right direction. And I understand why the value of having a mentor. Why it should not break the connection between the young and the old. This country cultivate a negative culture where you have young generation who think they know better than the older generation and don't realize the wisdom of the old can make your path much easier.
Woo! Woo! Say it again, please, Black David. Say it again,
This
please.
country cultivate a culture whereby the young generation think they don't need to hear nothing from the old generation, but fail to realize the old generation can give you insight and wisdom that can make the young generation path easier for them.
Yep. I tell them that all the time. I tell them what they don't understand is the OGs have taken the theory and brought it out into the streets, and they've tested it and they see it work. It is no longer theory. So when they're giving you this information to the young G's, this ain't theory, my man. We giving you facts. We giving you facts. So you don't have to go through the heartache and the turmoil that we went through. You can take this knowledge that we're giving you and make it better. You can add your twist to it. You can grow. This should give you the strength to stand taller, because now you don't have to go through what we went through. But sometimes, a hard head makes for a soft ass. You
And here's the
know?
funny thing: if anyone know me very well, I went to a an adult learning center out here in Brooklyn. I know you know what it is. Where you have grown folk who will get their GD and learn some trades.
Yes,
I went
absolutely.
there to see I can restudy for my A plus certificate. I met a couple of young guys who want to get into my field. Some of them I was willing to bring over to my house and do a study group so that they can learn skills from me
Hands
and
on,
climb to the
hands
next
on.
level. I did that in the classroom over there at the back of the class where people brought their computers to that classroom, and I showed them how to troubleshoot, how to fix issues, so they can learn on their damn own. Not only that, they was actually making money doing it. The teacher even allowed me to use my hand-on experience to show other people what I learned in the field. I don't hold no knowledge to myself for anybody. I don't even I don't even charge anybody. We have people creating Patreon left and right just to make money on small to little no knowledge they can get outside for free. And I watch this society. I was like, wow, the way we become, really,
What's that?
we became a society of people who it's all about chasing the shiny stuff
Yeah,
that'll lead
yeah,
you to a big pothole
yeah.
that'll build something
Mm-hmm.
that not only will surpass you, it will reach from generation to generation to generation.
You, you,
Well,
You want to look at the big picture.
you know what I call that, Black David? I call that putting more quality on you opposed to putting quality in you. We put more quality on us when we search for the money, the clothes, the jewelry, the sneakers, and all that stuff, opposed to putting quality in us about, sitting down and building, getting our spirit right, getting our minds right, knowing who we are as men, knowing what our direction is, creating integrity, character, getting all these things ready so that when we get into this big bad world, we have the functionality to work through it. We want, we're so caught up in the feeling of love, Black David, opposed to the actions of love, right? So the way
And
I
that's what I say the two definition of love, the biblical definition and the worldly
absolutely,
definition.
there you go. And the world's definition is the feeling. The biblical definition is the action. There's action. You have to show me that you love me. How do you show me? In action. That's why God told you love your brother like you love yourself.
And
Now
there's
I
that
know.
about it. The people who want to try to understand those two definitions have a broken value system. So when you explain it to them, they're not
Ooh,
going to comprehend it when they usually based on a broken value system they have access to.
they
I
themselves, they
Well, you
themselves
heard
are
me say
broken.
this several times. I've been saying about the value. I've said that thing over and over and over, and I know that it went over a lot of people's heads on
Right.
multiple platforms. I've said it on, and I've been scratching my head like they don't get it. And they coming on these platforms acting like they deep, like they woke. No, you're still sleeping.
Still deep sleep. That's
Oh, you
why
you nicer than me because I call them stupid. I'd be honest with them.
yeah.
I know I'm honest on these panels.
Tristan, I can't do it, brother. Tristan, there's times I'll start to get into an argument with them, and then at the end of the day, it bring you know what it is when you get into an argument with these cats that don't think. Understand something. They're not trying to
look,
educate. They're not trying to be higher. What they're doing is they're dragging you lower.
Yep.
You know
right.
what I'm
It's
saying?
their
So
fault.
I gotta tap out. I gotta count me out like New Edition, brother. I can't get down with that. So at that point, I just say, yo, y'all guys have it. Have a beautiful night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out. See, in this
If
type of
it, if
forum,
it,
I can stay here and talk all night.
Yeah, because we're not like bashing things, and I tell
Yeah.
people
Now it
Yeah.
doesn't
they're
mean
just doing a conversation amongst
right.
brothers and just we're actually hearing each other, not talking past each other, which I
if
love
it
Absolutely.
more.
wasn't for Wally and Jared, who reminded me that you're not alone in this level of thinking because you're not on their level. You too much above their level. I had a minister tell me that about me. At first, I took as a blessing. Now I realize it's almost like a curse because
It's a
My
curse because you're
phone.
by yourself.
something I will understand
No, I
quickly.
think to somebody
It will
else.
take other people years to understand. So I feel like I'm on an island on my own with a level of understanding and insight. I'm thinking like, no matter how much time I try to break it down or make it simple, they still don't get it.
You know what it reminds me of, Black David? You ever went on vacation and you've gone to those places and you're the only black family in that place, and then you turn around and look over and you'll see another black family, and all of y'all just connect.
Yeah.
Y'all just connect. You're the only two black families. Y'all just understand each other. Y'all didn't say nothing. You understand. So when you're on that island by yourself and you meet another intellectual, you just connect. And you just sit there and you both of you look at each other and you see what you just did a few seconds ago. You hold your head and you shake it. That's what you do. And you just understand that, yo, bro, these cats here, you can't be. It's like trying to describe the most beautiful sunset that you've ever seen to a blind person. How do you do that?
Bro,
Yep.
though the incident, I'm sure Jay got actually seen this on Black Men Unfiltered. When I was became infamous for calling Kim K a 0.5. When I
You
say
called her
I
a
don't
who?
believe
A what?
Kim K a 0.5. Based on my principle that I live by. And everybody call me I'm capping. I'm like, capping for what?
Yeah.
Because you
I'm
know
like,
what it is.
I try to comprehend what
Because
they
they see
mean by
through a
that.
different. They see through a different filter, brother. That's what you don't
Oh,
understand.
wrong. Yeah, I hate you.
They see through a different filter. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can sit there. It's like, you know how many times, I've counseled women, bro, right? And
Uh-huh.
when you talk to them and you have a certain conversation with, there's a certain line that I'm not going to cross, right?
Mhm.
And they'll ask you, "You gay?" Because of I'm just telling you, because, but you have to look at it this way, though. You have to look at it this way. I
Mhm.
can look at it from the perspective and laugh, but I look at it from the perspective of hurt, because you've been treated like a piece of meat all your life. That when someone tries to deal with you intellectually, you can't see past that. And that's on them. That's not on you. So when they're telling you don't know, you capping, you sitting there, you still don't see. You still don't see. You have eyes, but you don't see. Ears, and you don't hear. It's on them. They're the
I
ones that
know.
really don't see. And it hurts because you have the rest of the world saying that you're blind. It's like that Star Trek. I mean not Star Trek. That what's the damn shit that comes on New Year's Eve, man? Twilight Zone.
Oh,
Everybody look like pigs, and they're telling the good-looking people that you ugly.
Mhm.
And you sit there and you say, "Are these people out their damn mind?"
Exactly. To me, this is how people think I need an insult for me to understand your intelligence, right? I'm listening to what people say. The moment I have to listen to you and you have to say either, if you're comparing something to something else, I'm like, why do you have to tear down this to raise your argument? I said
That's what I'm
that
saying.
doesn't work over here. I'm like, what you're saying is not an intellectual thought, and they don't know that difference. And I'm like, I can tell you never read this. I can tell you never researched this. Like based off what you said, you can talk as calm as you want, as low as you want, say as many words as you want, but if you have to lower somebody to raise your argument, then you never really understood the subject matter at hand. And they don't seem to understand this. And when I call them, forgive me, when I call them idiots or the R word, they get upset.
no.
Like Wally has said,
Tristan. Know what I
what just
use?
happened on Sir
I
Hale's
say,
chat?
I say, I
I
say,
just got kicked out.
no, Tristan, know what I said? I say it's an ID10T error. I said, what is that? ID10T. Write it out. It's
Oh
what I look
my!
like. This is
But
write out
that's the
ID
thing.
10 and T. And when people start to realize, okay, yeah, you are an idiot. I just call you an idiot. And they in a very unique way.
No, they don't understand it, right? In the back chat, posted my favorite article, which changed my mind when I went back to school. Right? It was
Hmm.
always right. The article's called Dragon Slayers by Gerald Walker, and that
So what is
man,
that? Oh, are you choosing?
Gerald Walker is probably is my favorite author, black author. Actually, second favorite author, but my favorite black author, I'll say. Like, so basically, his article is about where you have these black writers and you see how they always talk about how blacks are like it's always we're always placed down in writings, right? Like like defeated stuff like that. And then he had his teacher, and he was like, your article is garbage. If it was in the English class, that's 103% grade if you read his original article. But his PhD professor was like, this is trash. He says, because this is you are the ghetto as well. He says everybody shows the negative, but he's like, you are the ghetto. He says, contrary to what you are talking about, you are the stereotype of success. He says, we shall overcome is just not a slave song. He says, you see that every day in the ghetto. He says, through everything that we all been through, we all wake up every day in that ghetto, go to work in that ghetto, survive the day every day in that ghetto. I said, the ghetto is a strength. It's not no piece of trash that everybody makes it out to be. I said, and just like I told them in Sir Hale's chat, everything they're talking about oh, you allow these people, like, people don't get suspended for saying the N-word, stuff like that. I'm like, it's because we allow it. The Jewish community said, no, we don't allow that. There's the difference. It's about what you allow.
And they speak in a collective.
Exactly.
That's
I'm
the
like,
problem.
Everybody, you're defending Kyrie. I'm like, no, Kyrie's in the wrong.
What about the Chinese community? What about the Chinese community? What about the Japanese community? They don't let no such thing in their community.
Man, listen, if I say bodega, people down my throat.
Hey, listen, then in your throat.
They say it's a delicacy, all right? Do not call it a bodega. That's what they told me.
Hey, but Golden Wally, what's going on, guys?
Don't call it Korean protein.
What's going on? I'm okay. I see you already talking about my community.
We're not talking about your community. Not
hey,
yet.
This is a Jewish community, so my community.
No, that's true.
This is true, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, I heard that there is some basketball player that said something in the USA. What the hell is his problem?
No, he doesn't have a problem. He's just ignorant.
That's the problem. Kyrie is someone I consider the
Mandrew, you're on
main.
here? Oh,
No,
Mandrew, we're only gonna be on for a couple more minutes.
Court jester of NBA, because
I heard that he's a fat golfer.
Oh, Darth Vader.
Now we have the force in our side.
That's right.
Here come my twin brother.
It's like this, dude. I mean, I hear Bolo saying, and I started to see it months ago.
Why are you starting me for, Mandrell?
No, I'm agreeing with you, and I started to see it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Mondrell, because this is happening.
Fucking God! I will stop being so polite. Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
See, thank you. Now that guy,
order now.
That guy, I can understand.
Go away, Mondrell.
I can still fucking see you, Mini-Me.
I got to see that. I understand. I can understand that guy. And Bolo will tell you when I first showed up on YouTube, that's how I was.
What?
I was just how I was. Was I not? Black David.
Yes.
Was I not? I'm telling you, Jay Takashi would tell you. Everyone who saw me when I first showed up on YouTube, that's how. Because that's kind of how I am. I mean, you know what I mean? I just have a very short fuse for bullshit, lies, and nonsense and idiocy.
No, let me rephrase it.
You're an idiot. I can't deal with you, man. I mean,
Mandrell, what it is. He had no filter. He didn't got
exactly.
time
Yes,
to
he is
deal
like
with BS.
everybody else does.
You have a firewall that every time BS touches, it reacts. Your firewall is OP. So when BS touches way too much, that are blocking, it starts to shoot it.
Yeah, but
That's
you know
what
what's
you
so
were
crazy
doing.
with that though? With that breakdown is, how can you have such a short fuse in a world full of bull crap?
Because Mondrell doesn't like to go to jail.
That's gonna burn you out, brother.
This is why, see, Bolo, this is why veterans stay to themselves.
Exactly.
This is why we don't fuck with nobody. We go off in our little corner.
He's absolutely right.
We go off. It's like if you're walking down the street and you see a lion in someone's lawn playing with a mouse. It's not bothering anybody. It's just sitting there playing with his mouth, right?
Right.
Now,
Tell that to the mouse.
most people come up to me and start fucking with me. You didn't do like Bolo and Black David and kept walking. Leave the lion alone. Let him fuck with his mouth so he ain't got to bother me.
Leave it alone, man.
Leave it alone. No, most people go up there. Hey, look at the little lion. Come here, little Mr. Lion. And then when I maul you, oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't have done that.
Look at Tristan.
Yo, Tristan,
Oh, you're wrong. You shouldn't have done that, Mandrell.
I love fucking with Mondrell because I'm like if he sees me in public, I'll do it to the point where he'll punch me in the face, and I won't even be mad. I'll be like, I deserve it.
Mandrell ain't like that no more.
Yeah,
Mandrell will just shake you up. Mandrell, he'll just shake you now. Mandrell ain't gonna fight you. When I first met Mandrell, brother, and I seen him, Mandrell, I remember one time I was watching Mandrell and he was talking to E-Man. I don't know if you remember this day. And E-Man was saying something. You said, mother effer. Let me shut the F.
Yeah, man, he went off.
I had to come up. I had to come and say, yo, Mandrell, chill, brother. You remember that day, Mandrell?
I remember that.
I had to say, Mandrell, chill. He said, nah, Bolo, because this mother effer. I said, Mandrell, chill.
Mandrell's like the lion.
Because you know what it is when you're dealing with the military, and you know, and Mandrell can correct me if I'm wrong. When you're dealing with the military, they understand that time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. So they calculate things really quick to come to a solution. They don't sit there. They're not the ones to actually sit there and hear you complain. You know what I'm saying? They're into action. This is the way they've been programmed. So when they come back into the civilian world, when they come into the civilian world, it's not the same. You have a lot of people that are stuck and they'll sit there, and he's used to moving. So what you need to do as that veteran, take that same thought process and teach these people. Because if you look at it from the perspective of, yo, what the hell is wrong with you? You're going to be pissed off all the time, man. You're going to be pissed off all the time.
No, he conned them a lot. Even this show, it makes more sense because he said it's solution based.
No. He is solution based. His, and like I said before, like he said, the lion is playing with the mouse. The lion already knows what he's doing. He figured it out. Leave him alone. But when you try to incorporate your thought process that's not about solution, it's about having these circular conversations. It's about complaining. It's not about getting up and making things happen. When you come to a man like him, you're going to have a problem.